The guys did not have my audio on. There we go. Okay, let's see. Is this better? Can you hear me? Somebody tell me if you can hear me now. No. Is there nothing? Okay. All right. Thank you for that reminder, because I thought we were going. So I was saying that I had a wet, stringy hair thing going. So I literally put this hat on, and Matt looks at me and says, "That's really weird." And I'm like, "That's okay. I'll just ask. And if it's weird, it's still better than the thing I had going on." So here I am, hat and all. So welcome to Conscious Business Talks. It's really awesome to have you here. And today I wanted to share this experience that actually had me thinking about, oh my gosh, this is like, there were lessons popping up through that for me. And every time, Larissa, thank you. I'll share that with Matt. But I'm like, okay, I'll just have my earrings and my hat, and hopefully nobody will notice my hair. I don't know if it's working, but let's go with that. Anyway, so this experience, it's the simplest, totally non-sexy thing to do, which is looking at your roof and shingles, right? Simple enough, common enough. Every day, everybody has a roof. Hence, everybody should probably have some kind of covering on that roof. A lot of times, either shingles or a metal roof or something. So shopping for a roof, right? Not hard. When I look around the neighborhood, most of the roofs are asphalt shingles of one kind or another, at least in this area of the world. There's some metal roofs. There's some other ones too, but generally speaking, there's a lot of asphalt ones. So as I was looking at roofs, I also spoke with somebody who does asphalt roofing. And the funny thing is, the whole experience was literally, are my earrings lost within my, okay, check out my earrings. Do you like them, Larissa? And as I was talking to different people who represent different manufacturers, hey MJ likes the hat. We are rocking. So as I was talking to different representatives from installers that represent or use the products of different manufacturers, one thing was continuing to come up. The language of the industry is set up in a way to not make that decision making easier, because the comparisons across across the products and choices available across the industry are really vague. And everybody says we have, let's say, 50-year shingles. But the funny thing is, a 50-year shingle doesn't actually mean a 50-year shingle. X number of long metal roof doesn't actually mean that your warranty is going to go there. And that's a whole different thing. So I'm going to just focus entirely on asphalt shingles, just to make it simpler, because the lessons hold regardless of whether I'm talking about what type of roof, right? So let's stick with asphalt. So asphalt shingles, 50 years, says the manufacturer, but it doesn't actually mean that. Okay, what does it mean? Are we talking 40 years, 45, 48? You think that if they're saying 50, it probably means something close. But no, that would be too easy. So apparently, a 50-year shingle could mean a 20-year shingle or a 25-year shingle if you're lucky. But you really can't translate that. So you have to go by the experience of the installers as to what they're noticing. Talk to your neighbors to see what they used and how long it actually lasted. So the language has no authenticity behind it. First warning, right? Because as conscious business owners, what is it that we strive to do? We want to make sure I have to share this. I'm sorry. And I don't care whether you are like what side of that vaccine choice you're on. That's kind of hard to argue with, right? And thank you, Vicky. I have to tell Matt because he was telling me that hat is so weird. And I look totally weird wearing it. But I had this weird wet stringy hair thing happening, so I wore it. And I already showed my earrings to everybody. But here you go. I figured we're just going to go with that. Okay, so authenticity. What claim are you staking? What are you standing behind? And what does it actually mean to your clients, your customers? If you only want to, even if you want to think about it transactionally, that's still your reputation. Your consumer, what is it? What are you standing to them as? And the other thing, because it was starting to sound like no matter who you talk to, they had their own spin and interpretation of it. And the details varied, even to the point that if they were using the same shingle and the quotes were different, it was because of how they were pricing it. Does that make sense to you? It was totally confuddling for me because I'm like, wait, it's from the same manufacturer, the same materials, same area and location, and your quotes are different because you're pricing it differently. So I have no basis of comparison, even when I think I'm comparing apples to apples. That does not sound like a great consumer experience. And I don't know about you, but tell me, what's the one thing that is sort of like a gold standard, right? Confusion, when you confuse the issue, when you make it just too many choices or too many decisions, what does it do? It leads to more confusion, overwhelm, frustration, because heck, I'm feeling it. Did I mention overwhelm? Overwhelm, indecision, and in most cases, no decision. I don't know what to do. Like, shall I go there, or there? Do I need to do the roof this year? Maybe I can push it off till next year. That's where I found myself, because I'm like, wait, there is I'm feeling the lack of authenticity when you are making a claim that it should last for this year, 50-year shingles it is. But then it's not lasting for 50 years because it could be 20 years. On the most conservative side, maybe, but again, depends on the manufacturer. In some cases, some installers were claiming you may not even make it to that half the life mark. And then, if that wasn't enough, when I looked at the warranty side of things got even more interesting, because there is such a thing as a period where it kind of holds, which is around the 12-year mark. But on a 50-year shingle, or even let's say a 25-year shingle, that's less than half the life. So my warranty is only good on the material for that. What happens afterwards? It's prorated, which is really kind of funky, because even the prorating thing is not clear across manufacturers, or even on the website of the manufacturer you're looking at. And fun fact, if you sell your home, which a lot of homeowners do, that warranty doesn't actually hold to the length of the even most conservative estimate, i.e. say 25 years. Okay, so now I was thinking as a heart-centered person, thinking, okay, I don't know if I'm going to own this particular piece of property for say 25 years or so, but it doesn't matter. Even if I sell it, I'd feel so awesome knowing that I gave a really quality product on the roof that gives the new owners peace of mind, sort of my gift that, gives even after I don't own the home. I bought a quality product, I pass it on to somebody, I feel kind of good about it. But is it really? Because then, thank you. more cafe. But so this kind of led me to thinking, now I'm not feeling like I'm actually giving somebody something amazing, because if, God forbid, there's something wrong with it and they go to have the warranty honored, well, they don't have the same warranty that I did just because I happened to sell the home. I didn't take part of the roof with me. So why is it that, say, if I like to put myself in other people's shoes sometimes, right? When they're on the other side of doing business, just because I want to make sure that whatever deal we are striking is a win-win-win situation for all people concerned, right? So even if, as I put myself in the shoes of the manufacturer, I'm thinking, why can't I stand behind my product that I'm saying is so amazing, you should not even consider anybody else's? What happens when, like, if it's that good, I should be able to stand behind it no matter who owns the house. We talk about risk reversal in the marketing circles, right? We talk about risk reversals in business strategy and design and the right tactics, because with risk reversal, you're literally making it easier for the person who is transacting with you, who is trusting you, to feel more at peace, have that feeling that, oh, I am looked after no matter what. As a conscious business owner, I think it takes it even a step further, because then the people on your team are feeling like they are standing behind something of such value that we can afford to put our guarantee behind something, our name behind something, and say, hey, we got your back if something goes wrong. We're not just doing this as a one-time thing. We want you to recommend us to others. We want you to rave about us. We want you to be our ambassadors. And when they believe that they're representing something of such value, the way they communicate, the way they to others, the way they carry themselves, the way they introduce themselves as to who, which culture, which company, which organization whose mission they're a part of, that just expands your circle and the ripple effects that come with it. That's, I don't know, to me, there's just something so powerful about it. And Vicky, you're absolutely right. It sets the culture. Sets the culture. It brings that investment in your mission, in your vision, and expands the circle of the passion you feel when you are talking about what is it you are bringing into this world and asking people to exchange value for. And this absolutely also is a part of it. Sucky contracts and warranty. But what came to my mind when I was looking at these contracts, and even, we had spoken with a few people, and I don't tend to go just with a product. I'm kind of weird, and I have a feeling you are too, because you're here. I don't just think about the product. I think about the people behind the product, because I'm not doing business with a product. I am making an exchange with the human beings representing the product or the installation of such product. So really, for me, it's the circle that isn't just with the installer, it's with the manufacturer behind the installer, right? Because the warranty is with the manufacturer. It's perhaps even with the people that they are bringing in to do certain parts of it. Like, for example, in my case, I have solar panels. So there's going to be somebody who is going to come in to deal with the removal and reinstall of the panels. So all things considered, as I'm looking at these contracts, it just brings this feeling of contraction to me. And whenever, as a conscious business owner, I'm feeling contraction, that is a moment, it literally brings up that I need to pause and look at things a little bit more carefully. Give myself a moment of reflection, of consideration, of perhaps re-examining what in the world is causing that feeling of contraction. I should be feeling so freaking pumped up and ready to go, because here's another relationship being formed. This person could be my ambassador, and they should be, because I'm going to serve them to the level where they can't help but tell other people about me. I'm going to cause the transformation of their experience, and it could be something as everyday and so not sexy, maybe, as a shingle, right? Shingles, I don't know. They're not super sexy. Maybe they can be of different colors. I personally find metal ones a little bit more sexy than the asphalt ones, but that's maybe just me. There's some clay ones that have more character and form. But anyway, I digress. Point is, doesn't matter what it is that you're exchanging, doesn't matter how you're entering that person's world, if right off the bat, I, as a human being, am feeling that disconnect. And you know, when somebody says something and it doesn't quite jive with what they said before, your subconscious is already feeling the disconnect, because you don't have to go like super, I don't even know what to call it, but you don't have to go super woo-woo or whatever, but tell me, as human beings, you feel energy, you feel the rightness of an exchange. When you tell the truth, you feel it in your body. When you say something that is not, you feel it in your body. When you do something right, you feel it. When you know you're doing something wrong, oh my, you feel it. You also feel it when other people are saying something that's not quite there. You pick up on it. It affects your level of trust with them. It makes you question whether you're making the right decision. It also colors whether you want to finish that deal, because there's always more choices. There's always more products. That level of credibility, that level of authenticity, that level of trust is absolutely critical for us business owners, especially us conscious business owners, to base the foundation of that relationship on, to even have a hope of having a relationship, period. So as I'm looking at the industry, and I understand, it's when you're used to seeing things in a particular industry happening a certain way, it becomes super easy to kind of say, okay, well, everybody else is doing the same thing, I will too, and you know what, I will say whatever I need to in order to close the deal, to make the sale, and on to the next customer. But whenever you're doing that, you're always looking for new customers. You're always trying to generate new leads. You're working so much harder. I don't like to work any harder than I absolutely have to. I believe in giving my best, but I do not believe, or I'm not the least bit attracted to the grind. I don't need that as a badge of honor, trust me. So I see opportunity in this industry, just as whenever I'm doing anything with anybody, it could be the smallest thing. It could be me buying bread from the bakery. It could be me talking to somebody in the produce section as I go to buy something and I don't see it on the rack, and I'm talking to the produce manager, trying to see what is it they want to do. Like, what are they doing in this place? Just, yeah, 100%. Grind is not for work. Nope. So much better way to do business and to do life, right? So Whenever I'm doing something, I'm curious. I'm curious. What are people doing? And in this particular exchange, I saw opportunity. I also saw the limitation in how people see this the sale, right? Because they're only seeing it as the sale for that particular roof. And granted, roofs are long lasting things. You don't start shopping for roofs 5 years, at least I hope not, after you bought one, but you could. I know my neighbors, poor things. There was a lightning bolt that hit their new roof. They had just had it done. It wasn't even a year. And they were out shopping for a new roof. No more grind and no more. Yeah, Matthew knows of, and Vicky does too, of my affinity for pro bono. But yeah, no, I'm going for balance. Let's just go with that. So you could. There are no certainties in anything. And that's the fun part of things. You have no idea. You think the person you just sold a roof to may not be returning for the next, let's say 25 years. Let's go for the rosy half-life of that 50-year shingle. But you don't know that they really are not going to return. God forbid, it could be that. They could buy a second property and that needs a roof. They may have a brother, a sister, an uncle, a friend who needs a roof and happen to say, oh my gosh, you should be going with nobody other than, but they're not going to. If they know what they got was a transaction with somebody just saying whatever they need to close the sale, or worse. I don't know. I didn't think anything could be worse than that, but it kind of is. Okay. Worse. Somebody not realizing that there is a relationship being formed and actually communicating that lack of care for building something come through. Oh, I had that from 3 people. I'm like, you guys are business owners. You're out shopping for customers all the time. You should know the value of return, recurring, given business that you don't have to go hunting for. When somebody is literally lining it up for you, pay attention, listen. And I'm not trying to be preachy or critical. My heart goes out to business owners because we put our heart and soul, our sweat and tears into the work we do. Even when we are being limited in our outlook and our mindset, and even when we're not listening, we're still working hard. Roofing is hard work. I've seen the guys work on roofs, whatever weather it is, right? I've seen them as late as, like, we have snow in this area, as late as, when this first snow is hit. I've seen them in the middle of summer. I've seen them in all kinds of, heck, you get lucky if they're doing some work in the spring, but then here comes a whole patch of rain and you best get, the overlays in before it. I've seen the guys, I've seen the crews. I've seen the steep roofs that they're climbing onto. And I also know that there is the other side of the world where, that's a whole different conversation for another time, the safety. But the point that I'm trying to make is when we are putting that much into our work, into earning our living, into looking after what we want to look after with the monies that we earn, it's worthwhile for us to think a little more about what we are doing in a more conscious way, to allow what we know our inner wisdom already recognizes is the right way to treat human beings, to be open to doing things a little bit differently. So how we are doing business becomes different and allows us to stand out, because now this is, oh my gosh, giving us a way to shine the way we didn't before. So leaving you with that, it was just so awesome to have you here with me. Share your thoughts with me, because I know I'm not the only one shopping for something that has led to What the heck am I dealing with? What's right? What's not? Should I do? Don't do? Who's telling the truth? Oh my gosh, I thought you were, but now I'm not so sure because you just said, huh, it's just that, right? That feeling. So instead of that feeling being like, I want all of us to experience the feeling of, oh my God, that was the best freaking experience ever. And spread it around so that everybody prospers. Like, doesn't that sound so much more awesome? So my hat and I, we're leaving you. Oh, yes, it happens in insurance and real estate and in hospital bills. It's everywhere, not just roofing. But to me, that means there's just that much more opportunity for us to do things a little different as conscious business owners. In amazing company, I take my leave of you to see you hopefully next Thursday at 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific Time, 6:30 Mountain Time, and it's Friday around 10:30 a.m. Brisbane Time. If you know of anybody who you think this set of thoughts will help and bring something fun and different into the way they're doing business, please share. And if you happen to be watching it on a medium where you can hit like or subscribe, that would be so cool. Here's to you.